Hey, it's Dr. Schiller. I want to talk with you right now about moving meditation, about mindful movement, like we do in the Movement Towards Health program. To me, as a clinician who's been working for, working on 3 decades and seeing a ton of patients and learning really all about mind body healing and movement arts for pretty much 30 years, um, I think that mindful movement and moving meditation offers something unique and incredibly important to anybody who's either got chronic pain or chronic illness, and potentially anyone who's just dealing with this stressful life that we're living in. And let's unpack this a little bit. I first want to talk about the meditation piece, because most people, when you think of meditation, you think, okay, calming down, developing calm, balancing that stress response, autonomic nervous system, and all of the ways that affects your entire body and mind. Because as you probably know, that autonomic system touches every bit of you. And when you have a unbalanced stress response, it is pro-inflammatory. It contributes to all sorts of different chronic disease processes and chronic pain, mental, emotional distress. What is anxiety and panic? It's an overactive stress response. There's evidence that an overactive stress response is part of depression. And for sure, chronic pain and chronic illness, we're seeing more and more of the underlying biological connections whereby when that stress response is imbalanced, it drives the disease process. It doesn't mean it's all in your head. What it means is that the stress response, which can come from a lot of different things, is driving the disease process. We know that an overactive, dysfunctional, out of balance stress response can come from mental emotional stress. It can also come from inflammation. It can come from blood sugar imbalance. It can come from an altered biological clock if you have insomnia or sleep apnea, or you're a shift worker who works the overnight shift and tries to sleep during the day, but you're still all out of whack, and that's why shift workers die younger. It's like well known. So stress response out of balance, bad for you. Meditation, quieting, piles and piles of research demonstrating that. Okay, so there's sitting meditation and there's moving meditation. Sitting meditation can be good for some people, and some people just can't do it because they're just too utsy and fidgety and distractible. But when you do meditation with your body, you got something to focus on, and that something is moving, and it gives a whole other opportunity for focus and concentration and bringing your attention to the present moment. What I can tell you after decades of teaching people meditation is that the ikar, the foundation, one of the core things is really being here and now. And everyone throws that around like, what does that mean? Be here now. Okay. It's deep, it's powerful, because stress is future past. Mental emotional stress is when I'm worried about the future or perseverating about the past. When my mind is in the present moment, I'm not having mental stress. Getting your mind into your body is one of the best ways to actually get into the moment, especially if you're a very distractible kind of person. So what we do in the program is 2 kinds of moving meditation. There's walking meditation, which is the simplest thing, but surprisingly powerful, because you can do it whenever you want. You can do slow walking meditation and really develop, this sense of quiet, and even this sense of like, okay, I'm opening my heart to my life, whatever. There's a whole deep spiritual thing you can do with the slowest meditation in walking. But then walking at a moderate pace is something that you can just do like in your office and walking up and down the hall, and nobody has to know you're meditating. You can just be bringing your attention to your feet on the ground, the shifting of your weight, the swinging of your shoulders, the way your head and your neck is bobbing on your body. That's moving meditation, and it brings you into the present moment, and it grounds you in the here and now. There's a whole other level of mindful movement or moving meditation, which is what we also teach in Movement Towards Health, which is based on or related to disciplines like Tai Chi and yoga. I studied those disciplines for decades and kind of am not involved in the philosophical traditions of them at all at this point, but have internalized the movement art and the movement teaching from really, really just thousands of hours of practice. And that's what I give over, right? And it's really about you getting into the subtle movement patterns that your body was built to do. Simple, cross body things unwinding the shoulders, releasing the neck and the head. It's kind of hard to describe sitting down. I'll make another video demonstrating it so you can see it a little bit if you want. But the point is, the movement patterns release the body in all sorts of different ways. All the major movements of all the joints, head to toe, bones to skin, we're working on releasing them as one unit, the body as a whole, and then specifically certain regions like, okay, yeah, I'm releasing my arm and my hand, but you know what? That's also affecting my shoulder and connective tissue down to my back. Oh yeah, I'm letting my head float and releasing my neck when I'm doing it. And then my other arm is also getting into the action. So like my whole spine is moving, right? It's all one unit, and it's also very highly specific. And it's fun and it's cool. For a lot of people, they find that it really affects pain. For some people, it just creates a deep sense of relaxation. For almost everybody, it creates a sense of like, wow, I'm here in my body. My experience with this 20 years ago, 25 years ago, was that it just changed my relationship with reality. I was kind of this awkward, dorky kid who wanted to be a good athlete and wanted to be cool, but I was kind of a dork. I just wasn't cool. And then I started studying Tai Chi and just kind of chilled and got in my body, relaxed my mind, and learned how to move in a graceful, elegant, smooth way. And it was really clear to me like that's relevant for people who have chronic pain and chronic illness and are trying to recover function after an injury, after a serious illness. I was watching people in rehab for 25 years thinking, oh my gosh, let's teach this. So I started doing it, and that's how this all came about, because it teaches integrative movement that's calming, that brings calm to the body. And when you teach your body calm, your body teaches you calm. As you develop practice and you get into it, what you're going to probably have happen is you'll be in some interaction at work with a family member, reading something, and like that button's going to get pushed inside. And you're going to be like, you know, that thing that happens when you get irritated, scared, angry. And then part of you is just going to go, hey, you're feeling stressed, aren't you? Oh, it's like you develop this other mind inside of you that is minding you. And it's your kinesthetic sense of tension. And you start to just notice when you're getting tense. And you can choose to let go of it. And it's almost like you've got this little warning system that says, hey, you're headed on the wrong bus. Get off the bus. Come back to calm. Come back to clarity. And so there's another aspect of this moving meditation thing. It's kind of hard to quantify. And based on my own experience and talking about this with a lot of clients and a lot of other people who have been contemplative practitioners, is that there's this aspect of embodiment. Embodiment means living in your body. Living in your body means you have a place in the world. And this may or may not make sense depending on your background, but you know, there's something called dissociation. Dissociation happens in the most obvious way in people who've experienced profound trauma, where they can get triggered by events or experiences and they kind of like leave, like they're a little spaced out, no one's home. It can be completely extreme or very mild. And my sense is that dissociation exists on a much more subtle level for many of us, because life is hard, life is difficult. We tend to check out. We tend to space out. We tend to go someplace else. If you're dealing with chronic pain or chronic illness or anxiety or depression, and you've experienced a lot of deep distress, it very well could be that you're partially dissociated a lot of the time. It can be subtle, but the effect of it is not really feeling here. And that has an implications for you in relationship to yourself, you in relationship to the people that you care about, for you in relationship to the person in the grocery store or on the street or your teacher or your boss. Are you really there or not? And my view is that when we really are there, then we're really in our life. We're able to actually express our uniqueness, and you're able to express your goodness, your uniqueness, your aspirations, the things you care about. It depends on really being there. My experience over the years has been that moving meditation, meditation in the body, is a big part of being present. there's a physiologic basis that is a bit speculative, but the fact is that the movement centers of our brain, it turns out, recently we've learned, are very integrated with the emotional centers of the brain. The cerebellum, the little cerebrum that we used to think was just about coordinating movement, also integrates emotional content. And there's a way that moving meditation quiets the emotion that is unique to moving meditation, because it's about moving through all the postures and positions that you may have encountered in the context of stress or strain or distress. The subjective experience of body workers and the whole world of somatic health is full of incredible anecdotes, stories, and experiences of people for whom particular body positions were associated with distress or trauma and would evoke it if the person's brought into that position. And so there's a number of phenomenon that we really don't have quantified, but we have a lot of experience that says, gosh, learning to be present to your body throughout its full range of motion, calm, quiet mind, does something to help bring you into your being, bring you into presence so that you can show up for your life and be the person you're here to be. So I think that's part of the picture, part of the potential benefit of moving meditation and mindful movement. So that's part of what to me is brilliant and beautiful about moving meditation and mindful movements, that if you've got some kind of chronic pain, chronic illness, depression, anxiety, and it's really hard to meditate, then mindful movement and moving meditation can often be a way in. It can be a way to actually access that deep sense of quiet, to instill it in your body so that your body actually reflects it back to you, because it's a two-way street. It's mind-body, it's body-mind. So Movement Towards Health is opening for a short period of time. It's starting next week. If you think you might be interested, I suggest you click on the link that's associated with this video. It's actually www.mthtribe.com. Click that link. There's a page that has more information about the background of the program, and click the little link that says get on the wait list, because you might miss the open enrollment unless you do that, if you get busy. If you get on the wait list, then you'll be getting announcements about it and you won't miss it, and you're not going to get any spam. If you decide you don't want to be on the wait list, you just click unsubscribe and it goes away. You never hear from me again. Don't worry. I really am not interested in sending anything to anybody who doesn't want it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what's happening. We're starting in about a week to take new enrollment, and then we're going to close it. It's not going to be an ongoing enrollment. We're going to close it so that I can focus on actually responding to the members in it, because this is a responsive program. It's about you. I'm out after, and my mission is really to develop a world-class program and to create a system and a way and a curriculum so that there are so many people who are suffering with chronic pain, chronic illness, depression, anxiety. They don't have tools, and there are tools, and there is a path. And that's what Movement Towards Health is, a systematic path, and it moves through what I call the 7 steps to inner healing. And it's really about developing and remembering and reawakening the intelligence in your body-mind system. So I hope if that sounds appealing, give me a shout. Get on the waiting list, send me an email, send me a PM, make a comment, whatever it is, I'm here. Let's talk about it.